We are here to bring a new type of news show.
New insights, new styles, and new topics every day.
We are News Generation.
Bring news just for you. It's Monday, July 15th here in Seoul. I'm Song Yujin, and this is News Generation. Today, we're joined by Kwon Ji-yeon.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday, and Im Sang-yeon.
Thank you for having me.
Lovely to have you both. Now, both are here to speak on behalf of those in their 20s and 30s. Now, as usual, we're going to start with our news feed, which covers different hashtags and news items that have been trending online. We begin in France, where there is less than 2 weeks to go until the opening ceremony of the Paris 2024 Olympics. The Seine River will host swimming events. Now, in an effort to ease concerns about its water quality, France's sports minister Amélie Oudéa-Castéra took a swim in the river on Saturday. According to Paris City Hall, as of Saturday, the river had been clean enough to swim for most of the past 12 days. Heavy rainfall over the past few weeks in the region had raised the Seine's pollution levels as untreated sewage washed into the river. Moving on, back here in Korea, the country's most popular lottery, Lotto, saw a record-breaking number of first-place winners last week. Since it started in 2002, there have never been as many winners, matching all 6 numbers as the 63 winners. This surpasses a previous record of 50 winners in 2022. Each winner is expected to receive approximately 310 million Korean won, which is around $225,000 US. On the cultural front, Inside Out 2 has become the most watched Pixar film in Korea. According to the Walt Disney Company, the film has sold over 7.37 million tickets as of Saturday, surpassing the studio's 2023 release Elemental, which sold 7.24 million tickets. The sequel to the 2015 hit Inside Out continues to explore the life of teenage Riley and the personifications of her emotions like joy, sadness, and disgust. Despite being an animated film, the series has resonated deeply with millennials and Gen Z. So here in the studio, as part of this generation, did you also enjoy this film, and why do you think this has garnered a huge popularity among our generation?
Yeah, so I watched the film several weeks ago, and I really liked it, although I didn't watch the first movie, Inside Out. So today I'm not going to make a spoiler or anything, but Inside Out 2 is a movie I think that both children and adults can relate to. And this is also one of the strengths that Pixar has. So if you see the movie, you will find the protagonist, Riley, in her puberty. She makes a bunch of mistakes, which all boys and girls tend to make during that age group. And she come across this new emotion called anxiety as she gets older.
Right.
Now, this film is especially more appealing to adults than children, I think. The first Inside Out was released in 2015, and 10 years have passed since then. So the audience literally grew up with Riley, and this specialty triggers the mixed feelings inside us. And there you go, just like the movie title.
Right. I think that the audience definitely resonated more because, as Han-young mentioned, we kind of grew up with Riley over the past 9 years, and it also shows a wide array of emotions that we're feeling a lot in our daily lives. Now to you, Ji-yeon, did you also watch the film? Did you enjoy it?
Not yet, but I'm planning to watch with my son soon. But the first one I have watched back in the days, and I do believe that many people like this movie, Inside Out too, because it shows the real emotional struggles of teenagers and the young generation MZers. The character of anxiety mirrors the common feelings of stress and competition faced by many Koreans here. The film's emotions feel real and relative to our life because they accurately capture the complexities of growing up and navigating these kind of intense emotions. And the film lets viewers see their own emotions depicted on screen, which brings a sense of reassurance.
Right. Well, I haven't seen both films, so I think I might make the time and then watch the series soon. Right, and that was our news feed for this Monday. So we're now going to move on to our main discussion of the day. Today, we're going to talk about fashion. Take a look at the screen to find out more. Today is Chobok, the first of the 3 hottest days of the year here in Korea. Summer means we have a lot of wardrobe options from shoes to clothes. But for office workers, all these choices can sometimes be a bit of a headache. So we're in the middle of summer right now here in Korea. The weather is really hot. It's becoming more humid every day. So I want to ask you guys, first off, what kind of clothes do you like to wear or usually wear during this time of the year?
Well, as the peak of summer approaches and the weather gets hotter, I personally find skirts to be much cooler than trousers. So I prefer wearing skirts, while shorts are obviously cooler. I still wear long trousers or midi long dresses, skirts for work out of respect, balancing professionalism with personal comfort during warmer weather. And also love wearing loose dresses, not really short ones in the summer, because they are both comfortable and stylish, and they're also good to wear on air. And they not only keep the cool, that is, but also reflect my personal style preferences for relaxed and stylish attire, keeping cool while looking cool.
Keeping cool while looking cool.
That's right.
Right. Now, what about you, Sang-yeol?
First of all, I prefer winter over summer
why?
because I'm prone to heat and I sweat a lot. Okay, so around this time of the year, I usually wear shorts and sometimes I even wear sleeveless tops when I work out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, as for shoes, I prefer sandals or slippers. But I don't wear them, of course, when I work because as you know, my job is a conference interpreter and most of the venues are taking place in hotels or government offices where I have to look formal. So in that case, I mostly wear ties and formal suits.
Which is what you're wearing today.
Exactly.
Now, based on your answers, I think that you both are figuring out what should I wear to work or can I wear this to work? And this can feel really, this is one of the common questions that the millennials and Gen Zs are facing right now. Now, especially here in Korea, because in the past, most of workers, especially office workers here in the country, tended to adopt what we call a business look, which is shirts and trousers for men, dresses or long skirts for women, regardless of the weather. But it seems like this strict office code is fading a lot here in Korea, right?
That is right, that is correct. Well, many companies in Korea are adopting more relaxed dress code. Well, last year, POSCO implemented a casual dress code, joining other companies in this trend. SK Group has allowed casual dress since 2000. This is the first company to implement flexible dress codes, and most major companies like Samsung Electronics and LG Electronics have followed suit. Unless you work in a job that requires a uniform or involves meeting clients, most companies now allow casual dress. So from an employee's perspective, this is much more liberating and it's also an attracting benefit for the younger generation when choosing a company. And I personally find that dressing casually at work not only enhances comfort and productivity, but also reflects a modern and flexible workplace culture that values employees, individuality.
I see. Now, Sang-yeol, is this also a change that you're noticing in Korea?
Yeah, definitely. So there was a time when all the offices in Korea made the employees to wear ties and suits, but now the dress protocols in these offices are also changing. So except for special occupations like flight attendants or interpreters like me, companies are now becoming more open to less formal styles. And I think this would be very convenient for employees because they wouldn't have to worry about or spend too much time in the morning.
That's always hard to choose,
yeah, exactly,
right?
thinking about what to wear to work.
Right. Now, despite a lot of companies, more companies here in Korea adopting the no dress code, I think the tricky part is that even though there are no dress codes, what's considered appropriate for work can vary by company and also depending on the worker, right?
Yeah, so it is true that more companies are turning toward shifting their gears to freer outfits and dress codes. However, if you look at the details for each company, it is kind of different. So for example, Samsung Electronics allow its staff to wear shorts in the office, whereas POSCO prohibits the workers from wearing shorts. And there was a recent survey on how the MZers view this changing dress code trend. And 51% of the respondents insisted that staffs need to keep the minimum formality, even though there is no strict dress code, whereas the other 49% said that employees should have the right to wear what they want.
So the stat kind of shows that millennials and Gen Z, these younger generation workers, do consider, they actually still emphasize somewhat of a formality in the office. So I want to ask you, Julia, what does the younger generation think as appropriate office attire here in Korea?
Well, most Gen Zs consider everyday clothes or business casual attire suitable for a casual dress code. However, a significant number also find sportswear and hats acceptable. So let's take a look at what MZs think about casual dress codes. According to a survey by Catch, which is an employment content platform, 1,783 MZers were asked about their views on casual dress. The results show a wide range of preferences. The survey reveals that the younger generation has shown a broad tolerance for casual dress. Majority, 37%, consider items like jumpers or sweaters and jeans as fitting in the category of smart casual. 31% view shirts, blouses and slacks or trousers business casual. And 21% opt for a more relaxed casual look with hoodies, shirts and shorts, while 11% are comfortable with even more laid-back options such as hats and tracksuits or jogging suits, making them part of the very casual category. So it's quite clear that MZ generation has a diverse range of preferences when it comes to dressing casually.
I definitely think that the younger generation is more tolerable when compared to the previous generations on what kind of fashion or attire is appropriate at an office setting. So you guys both represent those in their 20s and 30s, millennials and Gen Z. So let's hear about what you think. So we're now going to do a short O and X quiz on what's your definition of appropriate attire at work. So please raise the O and X sign based on your answer. So our first question is, number one, a male worker wears shorts when he's trying to get a document signed by his boss. What's your answer? 1, 2, 3? Oh,
No.
so Juyeon chose X, Sang-hyuk chose O. Differing answer. So let's first start by listening to Juyeon.
Definitely not. No. Meeting a senior, meeting who is older than you and who is a CEO and visiting his office in order to get a document signed, but wearing shorts. That is inappropriate. I do believe so. It's kind of important to dress in a way that shows respect and professionalism at the same time. And shorts may not convey that seriousness if you wear shorts in front of him.
Right. I think I've never seen like a male reporter or male employees in our country at Arirang wearing shorts when they come to work. So I kind of get where this point is coming from. Now, Sang-hyuk, you chose O, right?
Right, so if it's really hot, then I think male employees should also be allowed to wear shorts. What I found interesting is that it is considered appropriate for the female employees to reveal their legs, but when the male employees reveal one's legs or bare foot, then it is comparatively considered inappropriate in Korean society. And also, did you guys know that the government offices and public organizations limit their air conditional temperatures during summertime?
Oh, to how much degrees Celsius?
Yes, so they have to maintain the room temperature at 28 degrees Celsius or above, but I'm sure we can all agree that 28 degrees is still hot.
Right, so hot.
Yeah, so if you are working in one of these public facilities, then I think wearing shorts should be allowed because it's just too hot.
Right. When thinking about the temperature and that limit, I think, yeah, it can be acceptable for male workers to wear shorts. Now, moving on to our second question, number 2, wearing sandals at an office where your clients often visit. 1, 2, 3. So you both chose X. Let's first hear from Juyeon.
Well, to be honest, I'm wearing sandals right now. My answer is
But we
X.
can't see.
No, you can't see that. But I do think that sandals showing toes aren't suitable for an office where clients visit occasionally because it may not give you a professional impression to your client. Open-toe sandals can appear too casual and might distract from the seriousness of business meetings.
I see. And Sang-hyuk, what do you think?
Yeah, so I totally agree with what Juyeon said. So if there are no client meetings scheduled on that day, then I think it will be okay to wear sandals or slippers. But if you have a client meeting, then I think you should wear proper shoes because clients are like the guests to the company, and and their visit also determines the success or failure of a business. So if a client enters the room and if he sees the counterpart wearing slippers or flip-flops, then he would feel kind of offended.
Right, because when you're facing a client, you're not only representing yourself, you're also representing your company. So I think that it's better to overdress than underdress when you're meeting a client. Now, our last question, number 3, a top that shows cleavage at a more relaxed office environment where most workers are in their 20s and 30s. 1, 2, 3.
I'm kind of in between.
In between, and then O. So let's start with why you chose O.
Well, in an office with a young and relaxed atmosphere, I think it would be fine to wear some clothes that you would like because it matches the office culture. And it's important for employees to feel comfortable, and this reflects the office's informal dress code and informal vibe, which can boost morale and creativity of each staff member.
Right, if a majority of your colleagues are wearing a typical style, then why not follow that style? Right, and then Sang-hyuk, you chose in between. Why is that?
Right, so I think it depends on where your office is located. So I found out that in the Western culture, it is considered rather okay for a woman to reveal her chest, but it's a different story here in East Asia. While it is okay to wear miniskirts or reveal one's legs, it is considered inappropriate to reveal one's torso, and I think this is just a cultural difference that we have. So if you are working in a foreign office located here in Korea, then I guess it's okay to wear one of the shirts that reveals some part of your chest. But if you're working in a rather more conservative office, like government offices, then you would definitely receive a sharp glare from your boss.
Right. So I think based on our OX quiz, the conclusion is it really depends on your office culture and what kind of attire your colleagues are choosing. Now, let's find out what our viewers also think. We asked them how much skin exposure is acceptable at the office in the summertime, and here's what 3 of them said. Leon says Singapore doesn't have specific laws dictating how much skin you can expose even on hot days. However, it's always good to be mindful of public decency and cultural sensitivities. DK says as long as the private parts are covered, people can wear however little they want here in Canada. Nella says in Sweden, when you're out in public, you're allowed to dress how you want to, but make sure to have private parts covered. You can show off your full legs, belly, arms, and shoulders. So we took a look at the comments from our viewers. Now, for more on the trend of no dress code policies and what the younger generation defines as appropriate office attire, we're going to invite an expert to join our discussion right after this break. So today we're joined by James Dykes, who's working as a fashion stylist here in Korea. Welcome, James, to the show.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for having me.
Good morning. So let's get straight into the questions, James. So as someone in the fashion industry, are you observing a growing trend of workplaces adopting a no dress code culture?
I think so. I definitely agree that when people returned to the office after COVID, there was definitely a shift and companies started to be a little bit more flexible with what they deemed to be acceptable. I think you were discussing, I think it has a lot to do with the industry. Obviously, creative industries have always been a little bit more flexible, but we are starting to see that corporate offices are moving in a little bit of a right direction, but I still think they are a little bit conservative on the day-to-day.
Still conservative. So James, how does Korea's no dress code office culture compare to that of other countries? And would you say it's more stringent or quite similar?
I think that Korea is definitely similar to other countries, but not as stringent. But the overall Koreans dress, it has quite a high standard of looking and presenting well in Korea. So I think the Koreans always do have that in the back of their mind. If they want to further their career, their presentation is something that they are quite conscious of. even in a casual setting, I think when they're dressing down, they still want to present well in their grooming standards and in the way that their clothes are presented. So even as you discussed, even if it's something in a casual way, the t-shirt will be pressed, the fit will be appropriate maybe for a work setting. And even if it's jeans or a casual pant, they may have no damage or tears or wear to them and appear to be appropriate, I think, for a work setting.
Okay, James, then what advice would you give to the millennials and Gen Z for expressing their fashion styles at work?
Of course, I was interested to hear that millennials are happy to wear more sports clothes or more casual clothes. As you were discussing also, I think it's best to create a wardrobe that is your work clothes, even if they are in a casual way. It just means that when you're getting ready in the morning, those are the clothes that you feel comfortable with and that may be appropriate for the work setting that you are in. So you've already kind of made those decisions. And things that are always fashionable will never go out of style when you're putting that wardrobe together, I think. If it's like a polo shirt or a classic white shirt or something like a pair of jeans is really suitable for the workplace. And I guess adding your personality is always comes down to adding a bit more color and a bit more kind of accessories or like optical that you feel comfortable that is appropriate for a work setting.
All right. Thank you so much for your answers, James. We really appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. So the younger generation is known for valuing self-expression, but we also want to stay within the boundaries. So very briefly, for our viewers, what kind of clothes would you like to suggest that could be both fashionable and appropriate at an office setting?
Well, TPO will be very crucial. Time, place, and occasion. And, you know, it's like cooking. Too much spice can ruin the dish, and too little can make it tasteless at the same time.
I see. Now, what about you, Sang-yeon?
Yeah, so you definitely need to balance out between formality and informality. That would be perfect in any occasion. So I would like to conclude by borrowing the quote from the famous fashion stylist Coco Chanel. Don't judge others by what they wear, but remember, others will judge you by what you wear.
Some very inspiring quotes from both of our panelists, and we hope our discussion today helps you select your summer wardrobe. And that's all the time we have for today, but NewsGen is here every morning from 9:30 to 10 a.m. Korea time, bringing you more topics young people are talking about. Special thanks today to Kwon Ji-yeon
Thank you so much.
and Im Sang-yeon.
My pleasure.
And thank you everyone for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. We are News Generation.